Good afternoon. This is Keith Bryan filling in for our infamous hosts, Kyle Whissel and Jason Hall. Both are out today on vacation and business. Well, you guys, you're in for a real treat this afternoon. I have a very special guest and dear friend of mine, Adriann McCall. She's going to be sharing with us a little bit about her business, which is Adriann McCall Public Relations. Adriann, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you here. Now, Adriann and I, we go back, about a year now. We have a mutual friend that introduced us, and I was reaching out to some of the members in my community, in my business sphere, and I was looking for some marketing PR assistants, and a mutual friend of ours just introduced us, and the rest is history. And
rest is history.
And for the last 5 months, 6 months, we've been spending time together at a local business networking group up in North County called the
Rainmakers.
The North County Rainmakers.
Yeah.
So check us out on Meetup. We'd love to have you guys come out on a Thursday morning, 7 a.m. at the Broken Yoke.
Absolutely.
Well, we didn't ask you to come in the studio today, Adriann, to talk about the North County Rainmakers. We want to learn all about Adriann McCall, Public Relations. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business.
So I am a 20-year veteran in public relations. I have a degree in communications and journalism from Oakland University, which is in Rochester, Michigan, not in Oakland, California.
I was just thinking Oakland, California. Glad you clarified that.
Yeah,
yes, you saw the look on my face.
I know you're like, wait a minute, what? I never heard of that. So I'm originally from Michigan, and I moved to California right after graduation, Northern California.
Okay.
I then got a master's degree in nonprofit administration. So I learned all about how to run a nonprofit, not just the PR and marketing, but the accounting and the fundraising and the grant writing, all that stuff. And I meshed those two together and worked for several nonprofits over the last 20 plus years, like American Cancer Society, the United Way, and the Urban League, some other organizations.
Let me ask you about those nonprofits that when you're working for them. Because they're nonprofit organizations, is that charity work? Are you working for free, or is that a paid position?
No, those were paid positions.
Okay.
They were paid positions. Now, I did do a lot of volunteering on boards. I was on a ton of boards. I was on Boys and Girls Club board
good for you.
in San Francisco. I was on the board of the East Oakland Youth Development Center for about 10 years.
Back in Michigan?
Here
in
Oakland. I know, I'm getting you confused. No, in Oakland, Bay Area, Oakland, California. So I was on that organization for 10 years. So a little bit of both. I worked with those organizations as a employee, but then also donated a lot of time, effort, and press and media and marketing services to those organizations because they meant a lot to me. And I think it's important to give back. And so that was part of my process.
That's a lot of selfless giving. 20 years in public relations, nonprofit organizations, giving back of your time, your energy, your efforts. What motivated you? What was your drive? What was that big why that drove you to get up and to give 20 years and spend time giving back to the community in that capacity?
When I was a very little girl, my mom took me out. She was a member of the League of Women Voters, which is still around. She took me out door to door, and we passed out literature getting people to vote.
Okay.
And that was in the 70s, the early 70s. And so I remember that. And I remember my mom sitting down saying, there are things you can do in the community to give back to better the community you live in. And so I always want you to remember that. And I always want you to remember to do your part in your community, no matter where it is, to do your part to give back because there are people who need your help.
Absolutely.
And so I remembered that as a little girl when I was 6. And so it's just stuck with me all of my life. And that's all I've done is, work with nonprofits and give back. Now, I have had a couple of jobs, obviously, that were, not nonprofits like Amtrak. And I worked for a company called AC Transit, which was the system of buses in Northern California. And most recently worked with the federal government under the Obama administration doing public health outreach.
Okay.
So have done that as well. I have a myriad of experience over 20 years, but definitely have done PR and marketing and most recently social media, which is all the rage, obviously, right now. So.
Well, I think you stole the answer to my next question. And I was just going to ask, what are some of the things that you're doing nowadays here in North County with your public relations? Is it the primary focus, the social media focus? Is it still volunteer work? Tell me a little bit about that.
It's a little bit of all of that, actually. My focus is on small businesses, authors, other entrepreneurs, and nonprofit organizations. So those are the places that I focus that are my niche areas, because I know the most about those particular organizations. And so I've been working in North County and all over the country with several different. I have 5 authors I'm working with who are launching books, who have already been authors, have had first books, and they're now launching their second books. I've been working with realtors as well to get them more exposure in their areas of expertise, and have been working with nonprofits like Solutions for Change, doing some work with them. I've worked with a gym in North County to get them more people into their boot camp. I mean, it goes on and on, but yeah.
Thank you for referencing realtors, being that I'm a realtor and this is a Whissel Weekends and we're a real estate company here in San Diego. I know we've had this conversation over the last couple of months, and if you wouldn't mind sharing with us, because I thought it was very insightful when you and we sat down and looked at ways that I could help promote my business in Carlsbad and in North County, and you gave some really simple, easy recommendations, things I can do within my community to bring exposure to myself and my business. Could you share 1 or 2 of those ideas with us?
Sure. I think, for realtors, there's so many, and I think you have to stand out from that crowd. And so one of the things that we talked about was doing like first-time home buying seminars around North County in places that people normally wouldn't go, and looking at maybe at churches, and different nonprofit organizations. And so doing that and presenting yourself as an expert in first-time home buying is also a great step. The other thing was also presenting yourself as a speaker around buying homes, because people don't know that process very well. It's very daunting and scary, and people want to know that they've got a friend in that process, someone to hold their hand through that process. And I think that for realtors, it's sometimes daunting because, people are assuming that, oh, I'm just going to buy this home and this person is going to kind of help me through. But the reality is they're walking you through the process hand in hand, and they're going with you throughout that process. And I think that's important because the relationship building is very important in that process.
It's essential.
Yes, it's definitely essential. And I think that once someone understands that, and knows that, and they can present themselves as a relationship builder around helping people to, not just buy homes, but helping them to realize their dreams, is an amazing thing to be able to do. I think realtors are amazing because they help people realize their dreams. My sister-in-law is a realtor, so I'm a little biased.
A little shout out for your sister.
Little shout out from sister-in-law. Yeah. But yes, I think it's amazing. I've been to a couple of home buying seminars, and I realized that, people are talking about mortgages and talking about loans and brokers, all that kind of stuff, and it kind of goes over your head. But when you're talking to someone and you're building a relationship with them, it's an amazing process.
It sure is.
So
I found it really interesting when we sat down and we were talking in this area that you had made the recommendation to become an expert in your industry. It's one thing to get out there and go through the grind and produce business and sell homes and do buyer seminars, but you took a next step further with a recommendation to put together like a speaking dossier resume. I think I'm just not sure what it's called.
A speaker media kit.
Okay, a speaker media kit in which then you would work with the realtor and get that speaker media kit out to other news agencies, or
absolutely, so that
San Diego or across the country.
Exactly, so they be presented as an expert. So when things come up like the housing boom or the housing slump, or that person would be, if you're a realtor, say for instance, Keith, you're a realtor. So, we present you as an expert, do a media sheet for you, send it out to all of the media outlets, and then once something comes up, they would call you and say, hey, we know we've got someone on deck that we can call to ask these questions about realty, about buying homes, about people realizing their dreams, and you're that person. So that's the important thing. And also doing blogs and, having maybe a landing page that doesn't just talk about the realty piece, but talks about you as a person and kind of your relationship to, what you've done in the past, and your relationship to some of your testimonials about some of the people who have purchased homes from you. would be amazing. So.
Absolutely. And I know there's realtors out here listening. There's also business owners, entrepreneurs of other sort.
Yes.
I want to encourage you guys to reach out to Adriann McCall this week. Adriann, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
On my by email,
Okay.
and that's Adriann, ADRIANN at amccallpr.com.
Because whether you're in real estate or a business of any other sort and stuff, you all need this. You need to connect with Adriann to learn about this media speakers kit, to get yourself out there, because in business, it's all about marketing, name branding, and recognition.
Absolutely.
And there's no better way than to have a professional like Adriann. You heard that earlier, 20 years in the industry, public relations, marketing, with a background working with the nonprofits. This is the woman that you want in your corner, helping you grow your business and take it out there and build that branding and public awareness within your community and with your sphere of influence. So it's a real joy having Adriann here to learn about public relations and what it is that she does. And when we come back from break, I'm going to ask Adriann to talk about her new program that she's going to be launching. I know she kind of gave me the eye like, yeah, let's not forget about that program, because honestly, that was what inspired us a couple of weeks ago to connect and to set up this date today to have you on the show so we could talk about the launch of your new program that you're going to be rolling out now in how many weeks? Or
probably about 3 weeks.
Okay.
About 3 weeks.
In about 3 weeks, we'll make it 3 to 4 weeks, just because, who knows? Maybe
little cushion.
Cushion, right? A little leeway, and it might even be a little sooner. We don't know.
Maybe sooner.
But it's going to be a great course, and I can't wait to share with you when we come back from our break more of the details about her new online public relations media course. So we'll be right back after this break.